Hello everyone. We are going to look into the topic of Israel and Palestine and their relationship vis-a-vis India. So if you look into the issue of Israel and Palestine, every time we hear there is some rockets are being fired from Gaza and Israel is retaliating and there has been death in both the sides. And what's the present situation? What's actually the background? That's what we have to look into it first. So if you see, particularly after the First World War, okay, the present geographical location where this struggle is happening was a mandate of Britain. So first I will tell you what this mandate system is. Mandate system is, you can see it's the remnants of this League of Nations. So a particular area that has been conquered by Britain or France as a result of the war. So till the time that area is being developed into a democratic system, it will be kept as a kind of a mandate. That means kind of a colony by Britain and France. Similarly, during that time, the Syria and the Lebanon part was the mandate of France. And this Transjordan Palestine area was the mandate of Britain. But the Jewish lobby all over the world was particularly lobbying for their homeland. And this was promised to them by Britain, especially by the Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour. That is why in 1917 there was a Balfour Declaration. So if you can see from 1917 and 1918, particularly after the Treaty of Versailles, till 1948, there has been a steady inflow of Jews to this region from all the parts of the world. So even from Kerala or even from parts of Manipur, there were many Jewish tribes that were like there all over the world, and all of them who were legitimate Jewish tribes were given a citizenship in Israel. Okay. That's the reason why even many Jews from Cochin and the parts of coastal Kerala had all gone and immigrated to Israel. So this is the land that has been won by them through a kind of you can say a tactical diplomacy. So the land that has been conquered by the Britain was given to them. But this area, if you look into it, I am now projecting the map of the Israel. If you look into this area, certain areas were having a high amount of Arab majority. So those areas were demarcated, and two of those areas were the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. So first I will tell you what the West Bank is. Every time you hear in the news there is West Bank and West Bank. If you look into the geographical location, there is a river that starts from the Sea of Galilee and it flows down and it ends in the Dead Sea, right? And that river is called the Jordan. So Sea of Galilee, Dead Sea are all, if you are familiar with Bible, these things are all there in the Bible. Like, so even Jesus Christ was given baptism in the Jordan. So on the left hand side, on the west bank of this Jordan river is this area called the West Bank. And you can see somewhat southwest, you can see the Gaza Strip that is closer to the Sinai Peninsula. So the Gaza Strip and West Bank are the two areas where there is a high concentration of the Arabs. And in the West Bank area is where the capital Jerusalem is. And the Jerusalem is a holy place for Christians, for Muslims, as well as for the Jews. So that is why that area is highly contested. So I am not going into the politics of it. But first you have to understand, this Gaza Strip is the area, now it's more in news because that is being the stronghold of Hamas. So first of all, I will tell you what Hamas is and what the Fatah party and the Yasser Arafat was. So initially the Palestinian liberation movement was spearheaded by Yasser Arafat and his Fatah party. He had a kind of a guerrilla tactics. But at the same time, during the 70s and during the 80s, he had the support of the international goodwill of the nations. Even India under Indira Gandhi supported Yasser Arafat. But if you can see, in 1987, Hamas, it started as a small-time organization, quickly resorted to a violent warfare. And their charter itself is the elimination of the Jewish nation, and they wanted to reclaim that entire area and make it an Islamic nation. But Fatah party was somewhat like a left-leaning party, more in secular lines. So what happened is, like by around 2006, you can say Hamas literally won over that Gaza Strip, and particularly after the death of Yasser Arafat, the Fatah party and its power began to dwindle in the West Bank. So it's a matter of time. Now we have the leader called Mahmoud Abbas, but he is not much of a powerful leader and he doesn't have the charisma of Yasser Arafat. Now, in every ways, this struggle against the Israel is spearheaded by Hamas. So the problem is this. Earlier, when the international arena was supporting the Palestinian cause, it was mostly the Fatah party that was in the picture. See, for example, like if I have to recall the speech of Yasser Arafat, at one time he used to say that I am standing with a olive branch on one side and a gun on the other hand. So at least he is showing that olive branch, but Hamas has a brutal face. And that is the reason why it has been designated as a terrorist organization by even US, European Union, UN, and also this is where the Palestinian cause is troubling, right? And when Hamas from the Gaza Strip fires a string of rockets to the Israel, for example, like yesterday also around 480 rockets were fired. But how Israel counters it is with the help of this technology known as the Iron Dome. With this technology, Israeli Air Force or an army, they can counter the rockets coming in by firing counter rockets from the Israeli side and neutralizing it. But it doesn't have 100% efficiency. At times it fails. That is when the casualties occur. So the issue here is why India is not able to fully support the Palestinian cause now is because of this problem of Hamas. Earlier, when Yasser Arafat was there, India could have supported in some way. Now also, although we support the Palestinian cause, we are not supporting Hamas, because if we support Hamas, it is like saying like we are supporting Lashkar-e-Toiba or Jaish-e-Mohammed, because it is very similar to what they do. Okay, maybe their like mode of operation is a bit different, but it's basically what they do. So if India is supporting Hamas in a way, we will be going against our own national policy. And even though we are supporting Palestine many other ways, Palestine hardly in any way do a reciprocation, because in most of the international platforms they somehow support Pakistan. So this is the reason why, even particularly if you can see from 2014 onwards, there has been a shift in the Indian side. We are leaning a little bit more towards Israel, although we support the Palestinian cause. And I also reiterate why we are not able to put 100% backup on Palestine's side is because of Hamas, because of it being a terrorist organization. And if going forward in future, there is a good chance that this Palestinian cause will be hijacked and even it could be killed by Hamas. I'll just give you an example. Every issue will be having a legitimate cause. For example, if you look into the Sri Lanka, the LTT, the issue for the Tamils was a genuine cause. It was a genuine issue. If it would have been taken into the international platform or the national platform with the help of a non-violent civil resistance and not a violent, bloody military movement, Tamils would have won the case. See, what did LTT do? First, it hijacked the movement. Then it killed all its opponents. And then it killed even the democratic Tamils also. And so once it went into a mindless violence, the army came forward and eliminated LTT once and for all. And now Tamils do not have anyone to say anything. So this is the same thing that can happen to the Palestinian cause also. So if it is going in the Hamas way, the international goodwill for the Palestinian cause will be lower and lower, and Israel will have everything under the sun to say that, see, we are fighting against a vicious terrorist force, and in some way or another, the Palestinian voice will be silenced. So this is what the Israel and Palestine issue is ailing, and that is the reason why India as a country is not able to support Palestinian cause that it used to do earlier. Thank you for listening. Thank you. I will come with a new topic.